First up, he is the chef extraordinaire from Market Fresh Bistro in Makawao. Give it up for Chef Justin. Rhubarb Chutney.
It wouldn't be any other way. All right, how's everybody doing today? So before I start, I want to just say something really quick. I live, unfortunately, across the street from the Monsanto place. And yesterday, I live in Kihei, and yesterday I was driving to the dentist, and I saw all these people outside. There were a lot of people. There were people in skeleton outfits. They were saying no GMO corn. I just want to say thank you for doing that. And if I get a chance, you will see me out there, because Monsanto is no good. It's not from Maui. It shouldn't even be here. So, with all that aside, so today we're going to talk about rhubarb. Okay, so rhubarb likes cold, but it also grows on Maui. And if people are asking, where do you get the rhubarb from? I get the rhubarb from Greenleaf Farms. Okay, that's a local farm from here in Maui, Marta and Bill, which are here. And they have great rhubarb. And a lot of people, a lot of times, don't know how to use rhubarb. Rhubarb is a very tart vegetable. A lot of people say it's a fruit, but it's actually a vegetable. Okay? And it's very fibrous. It's like celery. It has a lot of water inside. First thing you do with rhubarb is you want to make sure that your rhubarb is really flexible. If it breaks, that means that it's old, it's dry. You don't want to buy rhubarb like that. You want a nice piece that's soft, flexible. You want to make sure that it's firm. Okay, you want to make sure that it's, when you squeeze it, it doesn't smush. I don't know what they, you know what I mean, like get soft, excuse me. So, rhubarb. Great, you have, what the first thing you do with rhubarb, I made a rhubarb chutney. I wanted to actually make it here, but I didn't, my iwatani wasn't working. So, rhubarb chutney, the first thing that you do with rhubarb is you have to peel it. Okay, because it has a lot of like fibers. It's really stringy, and if you don't peel it, you're going to get that like stringy like celery in your mouth. So you just peel the outside. And then another key for rhubarb is, when people say, how do you cut rhubarb? You don't cut rhubarb this way. Okay, you have to cut it against the grain. Against the grain meaning, if it's like this, I'm going to cut it like this. Because what you do is you're breaking up the fiber inside. Another thing about rhubarb, people think that you need to cook rhubarb for like 20 hours. Literally, I made that rhubarb chutney in 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm a chef, but it's very easy to make the rhubarb chutney. This is something that if you have an abundance of it, you could cut it, make chutney. I also made a rhubarb and strawberry compote. You can make rhubarb pie. You can make a rhubarb crisp. So if you have rhubarb, definitely try it out. So, what I did with the rhubarb chutney is, I took my rhubarb, I peeled it, I cut it on a bias. I got local Hawaiian ginger that we picked up from Kupa'a Farms. Okay? What I do is, I take the ginger and I grate it. I don't chop the ginger, I grate it, because when you grate it, you get the juice, you get, you know, it's just all the essence. And the best machine to do that is called a microplane. If anyone ever sees that in the store, it's like 20 bucks, pick it up. It's great for lemon zest, for garlic. Instead of chopping garlic, you just grate it on there and you get garlic puree. So, I take my ginger, take a little bit of oil, and I bloom my ginger. People say, what's blooming? Blooming is you put the ginger in warm oil and you want to smell and the aromatics of that ginger. Once you smell the aromatics of the ginger, I add curry powder, and I forgot the recipes, but next meeting I will bring the recipe for it. So, you take the ginger, you bloom the ginger, you take some curry powder, you take a little bit of cumin, you take some mustard seeds, you take, what else did I do? I actually had curry leaves. You can take some curry leaves and you bloom all of that. Again, blooming means just getting all the aromatics out. And you don't want to do it on a high heat because you're going to burn your spices. And if you burn your spices, you got to do it over again. So, you take your time to do that. You take your rhubarb, you put your rhubarb into that mixture. And you want to really coat the rhubarb with all the spices, the ginger, the curry leaves. And then again, what you do is you take red wine vinegar. You deglaze with red wine vinegar, but when you do that, you have to step back. Because if you do it and you breathe in, you're in big trouble. The fumes are like, wow, and you will, you know, some people might like it, but other people need to be careful. So, you get that nice fragrance, and what I do is I move the, I take the rhubarb, I really coat it with the red wine vinegar, I add just like maybe a little bit of water, and literally, all you have to do is keep it on the stove on a medium heat, and just keep stirring it, and you'll see that the rhubarb breaks down. You don't want to cook it too much, because then it just looks like, literally like just like nothing, there's no texture, it just looks like, you know, I don't even like applesauce. So whenever I cook, I always like to make sure that if you say you do eat a rhubarb chutney, that you actually see the rhubarb and you taste the rhubarb and you get the texture in your mouth. So that's one way, and then you can put cilantro in it. You can put a bunch of different things in your chutney. Another great recipe is literally you take strawberries. Okay, soon Coca Farms is going to have strawberries. They're certified organic. They're grown in Kula. They're unbelievable. Okay, so they're going to have strawberries soon. Again, with the rhubarb. All you have to do with strawberry and rhubarb chutney, compote is a little bit of brown sugar and water. You just take that, you melt it down. You literally take your rhubarb, your strawberry, you put everything inside, and again, you just keep stirring. In 5 minutes, it's done. And then you have, yes?
On the chutney, no sweetener?
Well, I put the natural sweetener that I did, and I'm sorry, I did forget about the sugar. I added a little bit of brown sugar, and I also, in the chutney, put a little bit of orange zest. Thank you. So, yeah, so,
Can you run a list?
Sure. Absolutely, okay, and we'll do a quick little, I'll give you the recipe right now, real fast. Okay, so, first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna get 2 tablespoons of grated ginger. You're going to take a tablespoon of curry powder, teaspoon of cumin. I got a teaspoon of mustard seeds. And again, Mana Foods has all dry spices in their little spice room. They have all beautiful, you know, that's where we get our spices a lot of times too. And they're all, most of them are organic. So that's great. Or not all. It's really good to get your spices at Mana Foods. So we took that. I took about 4 cups of rhubarb. And again, if you don't have 4 cups, just cut the recipe in half. So 4 cups of rhubarb. Curry leaves are hard to find, so we'll omit the curry leaves. But if people do get it, I literally just use like maybe 6 or 7 leaves. Okay, then we take a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. And then again, you bloom your ginger, add your spices, do I need to move somewhere?
How much olive oil?
It's just not, you're fine.
Okay, and for the olive oil, I just did like maybe a tablespoon, not too much. Yeah, not too much.
Can you use coconut instead of
You can use coconut oil, you can use any oil that you want except for canola. Canola's bad oil. Yeah, don't use canola oil. And so we take that, bloom your spices, you add your rhubarb, and you just literally cook it for about 5 minutes. And you'll see the difference. You'll see from really thick pieces of rhubarb to a little smaller and softer. And as soon as it's soft, it's done. I take it off the flame, I put a piece of parchment paper on top, and I just let it sit for an hour or 2. And then again, you can refrigerate it, you can jar it, you can, you know, preserve it, you can make rhubarb. Honestly, I say play with anything that you don't know about. Like, I haven't used chayote. I never knew what that was. And then again, Marcia had some, I got some, and you know, it's like zucchini when you cook it. Honestly, it's really unbelievable, and even raw, it's great. And it's something that now, okay, I never knew what it was, so it's good to experiment, you know?
Really nice pickle too.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Yeah, so I'm pretty much done. So I just want to thank everybody, and have a wonderful week. I wasn't able to make a lot, but I did make some for you guys.